Hello, aspiring hunters! Welcome to the Hunter Experience. Hunters, in today's video, you will see the true story of Chrollo Lucifer, a story that made him the leader of the Phantom Troupe and one of the most powerful Nen users in the world. If you're prepared for the incredible hunter journey, click like and subscribe to the channel to join our troupe. Don't forget to comment on who your favorite character is in Hunter x Hunter. Now, let's continue with this incredible story. Chrollo Lucifer was born and raised in the organized chaos of Meteor City, a true junkyard cemetery where the forgotten of the world gather. A place where official records don't exist, and the very existence of the city is a closely guarded secret. One day, at only 11 years old, Chrollo and his mischievous partners, Franklin and Shellnark, found a brand new VHS tape in the trash. Excited, they began a game of passing the tape around, but soon they were noticed by Machi, who wasted no time reporting everything to Uvogin. As expected, Uvo appeared on the scene, knocked out Shellnark, and forced Franklin to return the tape. However, Chrollo, smarter than the rest, took advantage of the distraction and escaped. But the escape wasn't easy. Finks and Phaeton appeared on motorcycles, blocking his route. With a sly smile, Chrollo handed over the tape, or at least what they thought was the tape. In reality, he had switched the contents, handing over a Gelman language course he had found earlier, while hiding the real tape under his shirt. Without wasting time, Chrollo ran to the church and had a brief conversation with Father Lysaurus before meeting with Pakunoda in the audiovisual room. There, they finally watched the mysterious content, a foreign film called Power Cleaners. But simply watching wasn't enough. Chrollo, always visionary, decided to translate and dub the film with his friends. With Pakunoda helping recruit Sheila and Sarasa, the script was ready in no time and the recording began. In chapter 396, we see Chrollo's performance. On the big day of the screening, the church was packed with children from Meteor City. Before the show began, Uvogin approached Chrollo and said they needed to talk after the presentation. Finks arrived with bad intentions, but Sarasa quickly distracted him. Sheila observed the scene and commented that as long as Sarasa was by Chrollo's side, he would be safe. The movie began, and everything seemed perfect until the sound stopped working. Uvogin didn't miss the opportunity to mock, but Chrollo, always ready for challenges, jumped on stage, grabbed a microphone, and started the live dubbing. Pakunoda, Sheila, and Sarasa joined him. The audience was hypnotized, especially by Chrollo's villain performance, where his face conveyed intense emotions like never before. When the performance ended, Uvogin was so impressed that he asked to dub the villain in the next production. Thus, the idea of forming a dubbing troupe was born. The main group included Chrollo, Uvogin, Sheila, Sarasa, Nobunaga, Phaeton, Finks, Shellnark, Pakunoda, and Franklin. Machi was also present, but she didn't like any of the available roles. Over time, the bonds between them grew stronger, and the troupe began rehearsing, writing scripts, and presenting new stories. Eventually, they decided they needed a name. Troupe sounded good, but something was still missing, something powerful. While they were thinking, Chrollo and Uvogin talked, and the latter declared that his purpose in life was to travel with Chrollo, perform shows, and become the world's greatest villain. By chapter 397, we see the day Chrollo and Uvogin find Sarasa. One day, Sarasa didn't show up for the performance. The group quickly discovered she had been missing since the day before. All the children who followed the shows helped search for her. Chrollo and Uvogin, determined, decided to check the Uga forest. They gathered the other members and moved forward together. There, they found the crime scene, torture instruments, a note left behind, and a bag hanging from a tree. Chrollo was the only one to read the note, but kept its contents secret. When Uvogin grabbed the bag and opened it, there was Sarasa's shattered body. After Sarasa's funeral, Chrollo and Uvogin had a definitive conversation. Chrollo asked for 3 years to gather the necessary resources to put his plan into action, create a website that would gather criminals. The other members of the troupe, except for Sheila, who decided to leave, stayed with him. One by one, they chose Chrollo as the leader of the group, which would be ready in 3 years. During this time, Chrollo also had to become even stronger to protect the members of the Phantom Troupe and ensure the success of his plan. As the leader of the group and a Class A thief with a bounty, he stood out as an exceptional fighter, revered as the strongest by most of his companions. His strength and skills were constantly tested, whether against legendary assassins like Silva and Zeno Zoldyck, or when facing the sadistic and unpredictable Hisoka in the Celestial Arena. Chrollo refined his combat technique, becoming an adaptable fighter who combines speed with deadly precision. He can kill skilled assassins with just a pen and remain hidden in Zetsu without even using Nen. His supernatural perception allows him to detect pursuers where others fail, and his raw strength, although not the greatest in the troupe, is still formidable. He can pierce skulls with an ordinary pen, lift massive debris with one hand, and throw full-grown men several meters away. His speed and reflexes are astounding. During the battle against the Zoldicks, he managed to face both of them simultaneously, dodging deadly attacks and blocking strikes without leaving openings for counterattacks. He can run on walls, dodge projectiles in midair, and disappear into a crowd while performing multiple actions in a short span of time. His genius intellect and strategic skills allowed him to deceive the mafia and anticipate his enemies' moves, solidifying his reputation as an unbeatable leader. In the criminal underworld, only the most cunning and the strongest survive. Chrollo Lucifer, leader of the Phantom Troupe, always understood this. From the moment he took on the responsibility of leading the members of the Spider, he knew that charisma or intelligence alone wouldn't be enough. He would need to become a true titan, capable of facing any threat to ensure the success of his plans and the safety of his companions. The Phantom Troupe was not just any group of criminals. They were lethal predators, forged in Meteor City, a place where the world's rejects were left to die. Each of its members possessed extraordinary abilities, but it was Chrollo who kept them united. And to maintain this balance, he knew that his strength had to be unquestionable. From a young age, Chrollo displayed an extraordinary intellect. Fluent in multiple languages by his teens, he was already predicting global political changes before the most powerful could understand the impact of the internet. But intelligence alone wasn't enough. In the underworld, the ability to fight and win was essential. That's why Chrollo relentlessly dedicated himself to improving his combat skills and understanding of Nen. He studied various techniques and methods, not just to steal abilities, but to become an unbeatable warrior. His encounters with elite fighters shaped his evolution. His first real test came against the Zoldycks, the most renowned family of assassins in the world. He had already faced Silva Zoldyck once in the past and survived, an achievement few could boast. But when he found himself facing both Silva and Zeno simultaneously, he realized he needed to become even stronger. During this battle, Chrollo not only avoided being killed, but also managed to stay in control of the fight, causing Zeno to admit that had the young leader of the troupe been trying to steal his ability, he would have had a guaranteed chance of victory. Chrollo's great advantage over his enemies was his adaptability. He wasn't just strong or fast, he was a brilliant strategist. Each battle for him was a real-time game of chess, where every move was calculated with surgical precision. His duel against Hisoka in Heaven's Arena proved this. Knowing that Hisoka was an unpredictable and deadly fighter, Chrollo prepared a flawless strategy, combining various stolen abilities to create a scenario where Hisoka's defeat was inevitable. Chrollo used gallery fake to create copies of people, black voice to control his puppets, and order stamp to command his marionettes. Amid the chaos, he camouflaged himself and attacked Hisoka meticulously, anticipating every reaction of his opponent. The fight ended with Hisoka's death, proving that Chrollo was not only an exceptional fighter, but also a genius on the battlefield. Knowing that his position as leader required him to continue evolving, Chrollo began testing his own limits. He knew that a warrior should never become complacent, as there would always be a stronger opponent lurking. So he began seeking out powerful Nen users, analyzing their abilities and finding ways to defeat them. Among his many stolen abilities, Chrollo began developing combinations that would make him even deadlier. He honed his ability to quickly switch between the powers stored in Skill Hunter and started exploring methods to enhance the effectiveness of each ability. His mastery of Zetsu, Ten, Ren, and Gyo became flawless, allowing him to remain undetected even by the most experienced bounty hunters. For Chrollo, power was never an isolated goal. He never wished to be the strongest just for personal ambition. His true motivation had always been to protect his family, the Phantom Troupe. He understood that without him, the Spider would fall apart, and to ensure that his family continued to exist, he needed to be untouchable. The confrontations with Kurapika served as a reminder that even he had vulnerabilities. When he was captured and had his Nen sealed, Chrollo realized that the Corta's revenge would not be his only threat. He understood that if he didn't continue to evolve, more enemies would rise to try to destroy him. So, after regaining his powers through exorcism, he redoubled his efforts, learning new techniques and further refining his mastery over combat. Chrollo Lucifer became more than just a charismatic leader. He transformed into a legend, a feared enemy, and a respected ally. His name echoes through the underworld as one of the most dangerous strategists and warriors. He doesn't fight just for himself, but for his family of thieves, assassins, and survivors. And as long as the Phantom Troupe continues to exist, Chrollo will keep strengthening his power, ensuring that no one will ever bring hunters. That was our video for today. Leave a like if you enjoyed our video, subscribe to the channel as it is still very new, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then.